World War I and World War II were a brutal experience for humanity, with a lot of damage and destruction. However, it's important to remember that both world wars, devastating as they were fought with far less advanced weapons than are currently available, and it was also generally more difficult for armies and weapons to get moved around than they are now. This basically means that were World War III to break out, it would be very disastrous and cause a lot of widespread damage globally. That said, in the event that a third world war broke out, what countries would it be best for you to be in to avoid the war? Here are your best bets, the top 10 safest countries if World War III broke out. While Switzerland's geographical location is a bit less than ideal for a hiatus during a world war, seeing as it's located in the midst of countries that are very likely sites for a wartime action, the country itself has a long and impressive history of staying out of wars despite that. The country usually maintains neutrality in times of war.
Okay, no more politics. Dinner is neutral ground, as stable as Switzerland.
And that, coupled with the fact that the Alpine mountain ranges provide Switzerland with some form of protection, and the country is a well-developed one with access to necessary amenities guaranteed, makes it a top choice for the safest places to be during World War III. Number 9. Ireland. While Ireland is located close to one of what would be the principal actor in World War III if it broke out, Britain, the country itself has a number of rules that makes its involvement in international conflict almost impossible. For one, Ireland involvement would have to be sanctioned by the United Nations. Yeah, good luck with the body charged with maintaining peace sanctioning that. Also, they do not have strong links with any of the major powers in the world, meaning that they would be a relatively unattractive target for aggressors during the war. Number 8. Greenland. If you are on the lookout for a place to hide out when things get pretty hot during World War III, then Greenland is a really cool option. And no, that's not just talking about the weather, which can get really chilly. Greenland, the world's largest island, is a really safe place to stay if a war breaks out, since not only is it located at an extreme part of the globe, meaning that the odds of the action getting there are really high, they also tend to stay out of political events and can be rationally expected to remain neutral in a war. Number 7. Chile. Chile has a number of factors going its way that would make it one of the safest places on Earth to be in the event of a world war. For one, Chile is protected by the Andes mountain range. Also, Chile has a great economy and decent standards of living, while another important thing is Chile enjoys great air quality, which would count for a lot in the event of nuclear weapons being used, almost certain to happen in World War III, and consequently causing serious widespread air pollution. Number 6. Bhutan.
Imagine a country tucked away from the rest of the world, hidden in the Himalayas. Some people claim that this country is the happiest in the world.
Bhutan, a landlocked country in the Himalayas, has some advantages that would make it one of the safest places on Earth were World War III to break out. For starters, Bhutan is located in the Himalayas and protected extensively by the mountain range. Also, Bhutan has a political advance that could prove key in times of crisis. It's not politically aligned with, neither does it hold any formal relations with the big 5 members of the UN Security Council, who can all be expected to be major players in a world war. So that puts it off the radar of likely attacks. It also enjoys a decent standard of living while being relatively progressive in policies, so it would definitely rank in as one of the safest places on Earth in the event of World War III. Number 5. Malta. This tiny island nation in the Mediterranean has a long history. However, what makes it especially suitable as an ideal place to seek safety during World War III is the fact that due to its very rugged rocky nature, Malta is built like a fortress, which would make it very difficult to attack, not to mention costly. Since the island is a small one, that would be very difficult to justify in terms of military expenditure, and so unlikely. And with the island itself generally maintains a non-aggression policy, Malta is definitely going to be one of the safest places on Earth during World War III. Number 4. Tuvalu. Seriously, this island nation just wants a holiday and chill out and not make war.
It was actually hard to even spot it on a map. That's because the entire country's landmass is only twice the size of the LA airport, or even just a fourth of the size of Disney World.
The island, which is very remote, generally stays out of global political affairs and has very little incitement that would make an attacking army even bother to attack it, which means that in the event of World War III happening, this lovely little island would rank not only as a prime holiday destination, but would also be one of the safest places on Earth to stay then. On the plus side, you can relax under the palm trees or do walks by the beach while waiting for the war to end. Number 3. New Zealand. Seriously folks, check New Zealand on a map recently? This lovely island is basically flung off to a remote corner of the Earth, conveniently far enough from where most of the action would be if a world war ever break out. New Zealand is like that place that you'd come out at if you dug through the diameter of the Earth from your garden, and few would be willing to dig that far, or fly that far just to make war. On another side, the country is basically a developed one, with enough food reserves and scenery coupled with a history of generally being safe and peaceful, meaning you could conveniently hunker down there and literally count sheep. They have a whole lot of them down there, while the rest of the Earth goes to war up north on the globe. Number 2. Fiji. This tropical island is a perfect tropical holiday destination and not a war ground. The island is very secluded and isolated, meaning it's of very little use during wartime, except hiding and waiting out the storm. The locals also have a long history of being peaceful and generally minding their own business, and so are one of the most unlikely countries to possibly get involved in any war, least of all World War III. On a plus side, you can just literally chill in the sun under palm trees with a cozy hammock, watching the sea while most of the world goes to battle. Don't worry, it's unlikely armies are going to abandon the main theaters of war and come knocking on your palm tree island. Number 1. Iceland. Iceland, remote location plus the terrain generally means that it is very difficult to wage wars there, and so the possibility of World War III spreading to Iceland are very low. The very rugged geographical features, including mountainous terrains and other extreme features, mean that Iceland would be a place armies wouldn't be keen to fight in. And another boost here is that Iceland is a very developed country too. You can generally expect a decent living with access to necessary amenities while the war is fought elsewhere. If you have enjoyed this top 10 list of the safest places during World War III, do show some love and like this video. Also, don't forget to subscribe. That said, do you know any particular place that would be a great place to wait out World War III and isn't included here? Do let us know them and why that's so in the comments.